interesting at first, huh?
Excuse me?
Sorry. Hello, Mr. Withers.
Hello, Mr. Student.
I was just thinking aloud about the hardest thing for me to understand. You know, interesting at first, huh?
Did you want to talk about it?
Do you have a few moments?
Sure.
I was thinking about fallacies from class. Can we go over them?
Fallacy is a flaw in reasoning that breaks logic. It is generally purposeful with the intention to deceive, but it could also just be logic breaking down.
Wait, what was logic again?
Logic can be the formal study of principles and valid reasoning. That is not how we are using it in class, but I like to point out that logic can be its own field of study. Keep in mind, logic can be an entire class worth of material. Logic can also be a field of study within philosophy. For our purposes, in an English class, focused on writing and composition, this is a unit trying to make sure the arguments make sense.
Make sense?
The abbreviated answer is that the math checks out.
Math in an English class?
Right. I keep telling people that English and math are the same field but expressed in two different languages. Both are ways to describe or understand the world around us. Our class uses language expressed in grammar. Math uses formulas and equations to express the same ideas in a different manner. Logic is too.
I kind of feel that without truly understanding.
That's enough for now. Think about this. If A equals B, and B equals C, then what is the relationship between A and C?
It should be equal.
It should be. Why?
Because A and B were equal and B and C were equal, so it stood to reason that A and C must be the same.
Okay. That's fine. We do not need to bring up the transitive property as vocabulary, or why the relationship between the first and second, being the same as the second and third, dictate the relationship expectation between the first and third. That's fine. A math teacher can explain that later.
But I was right.
More importantly, you had an understanding of why you were right.
Maybe this is not as hard as I expected.
It becomes harder as it goes. I just wanted to review and establish the baseline understanding. It's the fundamentals. That's important when logic is collapsed into an English class unit, or a few math units, rather than being an entire class student's take.
I understand.
Let's make sure. Would you say that 2 dogs are equal to 2 pets?
Yes.
Would you say 2 pets are equal to 2 cats?
Sure.
Are 2 cats equal to 2 dogs?
Well, no. No, but that is A equals B, then B equals C, but somehow A and C are not equal. How does that work?
A couple of possible answers. 1. Perhaps we did not understand the unit of measurements or the vocabulary and made false assumptions.
What do you mean?
You felt like you understood the numeral 2 and the unit of measurement of dog. Right?
Sure.
You felt like you understood the unit of measurement of cats and pets too?
Yes. It is odd thinking about cats, dogs, and pets as units of measurement rather than animals.
Numbers mean only their position relative to the 0 or z on a number line. They have no other value until you add the unit of measurement. The unit of measurement becomes the value we place up on the number's position from 0 on the number line.
Sure, it just sounds funny when you say that way. Plus, I am asking about English class, so this entire discussion is starting to sound a little bit like math.
That happens. There is quite a bit of overlap. Ask me about a Venn diagram and why the English department stole it from statistical analysis in the math department. But I digress. Back to the problem at hand. Do you know what pets means?
A companion animal, I guess.
Sure. In the common everyday language, pet would mean a companion animal.
Are you wanting the definition or denotation of the word?
Not really. Do you know legally what a pet is?
No, I've never thought about pets in a legal sense, just in the, hey, this my pet, whatever way of using the word.
Legally, pets cannot be bought or sold to slaughter as food commercially. You can in some areas eat a pet if you process and cook it yourself, but you cannot roll up to a restaurant and order pets because they cannot cook them.
That went dark fast.
It often does.
Are we discussing eating dogs?
No. Guinea pigs.
Why guinea pigs?
In North Carolina, and most of the United States, a guinea pig is classified as a pet. That means we cannot eat them in restaurants. Your grandmother can cook some up for us, but we cannot serve them.
Do people eat guinea pigs?
Sure, it is a popular white meat served as a wonderful protein source around the world. It would also be easy to farm in your backyard without using as many resources as chickens, goats, lambs, cows, pigs, or whatever other livestock you want to eat.
People eat guinea pigs.
It is a popular dish in Peru. I once had a South American student write a wonderful class essay about why pork is not considered a white meat anywhere but America, and how other pigs are handled abroad. It made me hungry.
I'm not questioning everything I know about pets.
Good. Perhaps a deeper understanding of the 2 dogs, 2 cats, 2 pets thing I mentioned earlier will reveal why the math breaks down in the transitive property. When it works, it demonstrates logic. When it breaks down, then we have to figure out why the logic broke.
Could it just be a mistake?
Sure. It could also be a misunderstanding of the initial terms.
I think I'm following.
Let's think about the classic syllogism.
What's a syllogism?
A word you would need defined in a semester-long logic class. For now, just listen and go with it.
Okay.
All men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal.
Oh, I hear it. Men equals Socrates. Socrates equals mortal, so men equals mortal.
Something like that. Work out the A, B, and C around the equal signs later. But it is making sense so far?
So far.
Let's explore the syllogism and shift it slightly. See if this follows. Socrates was a man, Socrates was a philosopher, so men are philosophers.
That makes sense.
Does it?
Socrates A equals man, B. A equals philosophers, C, but that also equals B. Yeah, it's in a different order but the logic and transitive property holds up. I can see it.
Are all men philosophers?
Oh, no. Yes, maybe. Should I be questioning the nature of mankind and our relationship to the truth?
Not right now. That is overlap with a philosophy course. You can take that later. It is important to see how the class logic fits into English, math, science, philosophy, history, and art. It is also important to understand how it needs to be its own class.
That's a pretty neat ad for taking logic classes. Do we offer those here?
No. Once upon a time, an educated person had to have a logic class to be truly educated. By the early 2000s, the only school left in North Carolina that required all students to take logic was Belmont Abbey College. It slipped into being an elective at some schools, and absent at others. We do have philosophy courses left here.
I see.
Are all philosophers men?
Were there female philosophers?
If not, then the statement holds. If a female philosopher existed, then it breaks down fast.
Unless we stop thinking about men as the gender and start thinking about men as the state of humanity. Like man-made just really means people, not any specific gender of people. Sometimes men is not a gender determinant.
Exactly. To pull that off, you had to understand what the term truly means. Socrates was human, philosophers are human, ergo.
I understand. Some philosophers feel like all people should be thinkers and philosophers.
Many economists think that is a worthy goal, but also understand that some people have to feed themselves, so their scarcity prevents them from pondering the larger truths about life, nature, and reality.
Deep.
Does that make sense?
Yes. If logic breaks down, the first step is to dig in and make sure we acutely understand the values and look for flaws or areas to shift and refocus.
Correct.
Does logic ever break down because people want it to break? Like cheats, liars?
Sure. That's fallacies. That is what you asked about earlier and why we needed to establish the baseline. We first have to fully understand in the 10-minute version logic so we can then discuss fallacies. Fallacies are when the logic breaks, but usually because someone is manipulating it to break.
Why would people do that?
First, let us establish that you should not. You should be seeking the truth and to express the truth to those around you. That is your mission as an educated person.
Okay.
However, some degrees want you to make money irregardless of the truth: sales, marketing, lawyers, politicians, etc. Those fields often manipulate the logic to break it and result in fallacies as a way to deceive people because it is profitable.
Oh my.
Yep.
Those are all high-paying careers.
Yep.
Fallacies are deceptive, invalid arguments breaking logic that
appear to be sound, but fall apart under scrutiny and further evaluation.
Right.
As an educated person seeking the truth, you need to watch for these happening around you.
Right.
As a person that wants to get paid, then you want to use them.
Oh, maybe I would.
Sadly, that is an internal relationship between the truth and your paycheck that you have to figure out between taking economics and philosophy classes. Just recently, I heard American comedian Josh Johnson say pay is what they give you to keep you from rioting, as in employers pay enough to keep you happy enough, not actually what your labor is worth.
Slightly Marxist.
Perhaps. Marx is a topic for another day.
So I need to know about fallacies to avoid them or to embrace the dark side and sway the crowd to give me more money.
Yes.
Understanding fallacies improves my
critical thinking skills. An educated audience is harder to con than an uneducated audience. Critical thinking skills provide you the tools to start evaluating what you know and what you assume about pets, men, philosophers, or other unit of measurements.
Logic and fallacies both grew out of philosophy?
Yes. Even if fallacies have been shoved into English composition, rhetoric, and writing courses, they are bigger than that. That is important to remember as you seek them out elsewhere.
Why are we in a cave?
It's a philosophy joke. Reread Plato.
I haven't read Plato yet.
That's sad, but we can work around it for now.
How do I identify fallacies?
The fallacies fall into categories. Look for arguments that avoid evidence, attack the person, oversimplify choices, create fear-based pandering, circular logic, or shift definitions drastically.
That makes sense.
Let's stop here whilst that makes sense. Let it sink in. Then we can talk later about the various types of common fallacies, their strange names, their definitions, and then examples.
That would be good. Thank you.
Have a good day.